All right, we're off. It's the remix. I don't know, many might not know, unless you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel, that Kurtis and I did the top 6 movies of all time. There were some internet connected issues. There were, new format. We're going draft style now. So I kind of wasn't as proud of my performance. And then with the technical difficulties, we were texting and it's just like, let's run it back.
Let's run it back. Yeah. And I upgraded our internet here at home. I'm very proud of it. It goes my twins, my grill, and my internet connection on the things I'm most proud of in life, I think. So I am ready, man, for us to do this draft style.
Dude, you look amazing. And
Thank
I
you.
will say, you might not be as hopped up on painkillers this time as last time.
No, I was definitely on some painkillers last time. The hand, I'm still wrapped. Stitches are almost all the way out. I get the rest of the stitches out. I had carpal tunnel surgery, and I get that out on Wednesday, Christmas Eve. That'll be a gift to myself. I'll get the rest of my stitches out hopefully. So I'm ready for this, man. I am clear-headed. I'm sober. No painkillers in me at all right now. I am ready to talk Christmas movies with you. And since it is the Bag of Six with Ryan Leskis, I have to do something real quick. All right, now I'm ready.
You went over the top on me.
I went over the top, hat on backwards, because I know how you like to rock it. So
I do. I probably should be wearing it because this is getting out of control, man.
I love your hair though, man.
I was originally going for a ponytail back about a month or so ago before all this happened. And I actually took a few inches off. And it's still, I don't know what this is, but this is what it is.
Dude, you're so close to like Val Kilmer in Heat. You should have just let it go, man.
It go. I can't get the full tendril though. He'd have like the one there, man. And he love Heat, dude. If I could figure out a way to put that on the list, I would.
Yeah.
You mentioned Christmas Eve. Are you guys all done shopping, or you got your Santa plan going?
I got a couple little things left up my sleeve to take care of, but yeah, for the most part, I think we're good. Kiddos are amped. Each day they get a little crazier and crazier, so they're ready for it. But yeah, I am pretty much done. Got to pick up a couple more things, but other than that, I'm ready. How about you guys? You guys good over there?
Yeah, I think everything's pretty much here. Do you have any projects? I have an infamous kitchen from 2 years ago that almost broke me. And this year, I think I got I probably should whisper it because they're in the other room, but the Mario Kart like Hot Wheels set, like so.
Wow,
that shouldn't be too bad, other than like arranging the tracks and stuff. But I don't luckily have any to be assembled.
No, unless like my parents or somebody, a family member, surprises me with a gift for the kids. Like on their birthday, they got this it was like a outdoor grill set and play area. It was all like, it was ridiculous. It was over the top. And that was a project. That was a springtime, we're in lockdown project around their birthday. So hopefully nothing like that is coming my way this year. To my knowledge, it is all already assembled, or maybe I just got to install the batteries. Like,
right.
I'm not trying to put together a jungle gym in December or January. So
keep your tiny screwdrivers close because the batteries are always in flux, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. So as noted, did the first one last week with Chris Shepard, drafting Christmas songs. So this will be it. When a movie is picked, that's it. No one else, because we won't reference the old episode much, but I kind of tried to play a little mental gymnastics of why I was putting one movie up so high.
Okay.
Because I was hoping to get it, and therefore maybe you wouldn't pick it later, but you still did, rightfully so. I'm not judging you on it, but like I feel this way, we have a fresh original 6 list between us. There's plenty of Christmas movies to go around. We can compare and contrast, but yes, once it's gone, it's gone. So it's almost been flipped on its side. You want your most coveted picked first,
and then you want to
kind of work your way backwards.
Yeah. So, having said that, do I get the first pick then, since I'm the guest? Or okay.
And
All right.
it's not Snake, 'cause there's only two of us, so it'll just be you, me, you, me, you, me. So I'm not going twice. We'll just go back and forth.
I like it. I appreciate the style here. Okay. Well, then I've got my list and we're going to jump into it. The number one overall pick in the bag of six for all time greatest Christmas movies. My number one pick, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, going off the board. Number one, sir.
It kind of is the LeBron James, the Christian McCaffrey, if you will. Like depending on where you are, man, it is kind of the one A. I say kind of because I got picks coming too. But
You got picks coming. Yeah.
what's your favorite scene?
Oh my God.
You have to pick one.
If I got to pick a favorite scene, it's Aunt Bethany. It's Aunt Bethany. Anything with Aunt Bethany, I love. I mean, everyone quotes Cousin Eddie, shitter's full or whatever,
Sure.
but Aunt Bethany is my favorite character in that movie. And I can just quote that entire. I mean, she's not even in it that long. She's only
No.
in the movie about 12 to 15 minutes total, but just a show steal to the very end, even where they pledge allegiance to the flag and all that. I just love her. So yeah, anything with Aunt Bethany, I love.
That is one of the because I think it is Eddie maybe that puts his hand over his heart. Even
He salutes too. Yeah, he salutes.
It's like let's just go with it. But yeah, she's bringing the heat on every part.
Love Aunt Bethany.
I am a fan of the neighbors. Obviously Todd and Margot. They've got a lot of pub. They even have the shirts. I don't know
Todd and Margot. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I am a fan of them. Like when they come out in their full like suits and the workout gear, and that's what before the infamous shitters full line. But yeah, like,
and it's just such perfect 80s yuppies. Those two, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and they're just the perfect yuppies from the 80s. They nail that. Chevy Chase sort of terrorizing them as and he never really intentionally is terrorizing them. It just so happens that way. So it's very nice as an audience member to see the yuppies kind of get there throughout the course of the movie too. So
I don't know if they deserve to get an icicle shot into their window, but it's still it's different. Do people even use the word yuppie anymore, man? I don't know. Is that
I'm bringing it back? I'm bringing it back this holiday season.
Yeah, I think it's been reimagined, like to a new coin term, which basically means the same. All right. So for the second pick, I'm already on tilt because I figured you'd go that route, but I want another one to come back to me, and I don't know if it will. So for my first pick, the number 2 pick in the bag of 6 draft of all-time greatest Christmas movies, taking the Will Ferrell feature Elf.
Ooh.
Yes.
An excellent choice, sir.
I just this past week introduced it to my kids, and we had a blast.
Yeah.
It took them a second to grasp what was going on. They're 7 and 3, so it was like, what? Why is he in there? And then well, he went into Santa's sack, and I'm talking it through. But by the time he reached New York City, I thought they would love all the other stuff, like back at the North Pole and the Arctic puffins and everything. No, but once they hit New York City, and he's like hopping around and what's your favorite color and jumping on the tree and the snowball fight, they love the snowball fight, man. It's got that kids joy in it mixed in with some stuff for adults too, which always is a hallmark of any good movie. Even the Dinklage scenes, things like
Peter
that.
Dinklage is great. Yeah.
It's great. And it's got a little love story in it, but an innocent one. Because, my son was like, does he realize she's naked in there? Like, and he's in the back. I'm like, honestly, he doesn't, man. He just heard singing and he wants to sing, and it's so innocent. And making up songs. We've been making up songs now because I'm in the kitchen and I'm singing and I love my sons. And so, like a lot of things are spilling out from it. But overall, not really a fan of the 24-hour thing. I get the networks do it. It's good for ratings and things like that. But I'm more of a pick and choose, let these things kind of come at your own pace deal. But I digress. But Elf is my first pick.
Okay. Elf was definitely on my short list of films. So I got to take that one off my board. And I thought you might go with Elf in the first 2 or so picks. So I'm going to try to get one back that I think that you will be on your list as well. Because I know one of my movies that I'm going to pick definitely is not going to be on your list. So I got to take one here from you that is on my short list as well. I'm going with one. If you're my age, I'm 36. So if you grew up in the late 80s and early 90s, Kevin McAllister was the man to you. Home Alone is my second pick.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the one that I showed my kids not around Christmas time, just because like the end scene is just like everything. Now everything's a booby trap, and I'm paying for it. Like I come out of the bathroom and their cars on the booby trap, Dad. I'm like, oh man, I really messed this up because everything's a booby trap now. They love it.
And I said this on our last episode. We're running it back, but there are some scenes in it that I think back to. I was like, man, that is a little too violent for some little kids to see. Like Daniel Stern stepping on the nail. Spoiler. I will say this forever. It's one of the most painful scenes in any film, and I love horror movies. I have seen some gory, violent horror movies. That scene with Daniel Stern stepping on the nail, like I still cringe every time I see that. Like I feel that. Oh, it's painful to watch. But
because it's going so slow, because it's tar. It's diabolical in the fact that his feet, and he knows, so he's plodding through, so he's not even like rushing up. So when he hits it, you can just see the meat like, and then tips back. But yeah, man, there's definitely some sweet scenes in there, once you realize and kind of appreciate more about the neighbor, the man that saves the day. I think his name's Mr. Marley.
Yep.
You might have to reference check that. But at the beginning, he's the scary, force as Buzz is telling the story. And then at the end, you learn in the church scene about his daughter and granddaughter, and then you get that beautiful finish at the end. Yes, I mean it covers all bases, and the asshole uncle is still like to this day.
What a great character!
What a great look what you did, you little jerk! Like who talks to somebody else's kid like that, man? And then when he's in the hotel, or not the hotel, when he's that's a different one. But when he's in the plane and he's like, these are free, right? Like, he's having to put the salt shakers in her purse. Like, these are real crystal.
It's real crystal. Put that in your purse. Put it in.
Just do it.
Like the ultimate cheapskate uncle. And that's the line, right? You cheapskate, Kevin calls his uncle a cheapskate. So,
yeah. We know you are, man. I'm sure his dad's called him that like 1,000 times, man. But yeah, it's the little things that make these movies great, watching them over and over again. I still pick them up from Vacation, Elf, and Home Alone as well, that like each one, you slowly start like pay attention to the sidelines and like, oh yeah, man, that's a great pick.
Thank you. What about you?
I'm going to cross it off, and I'm going to pick one, which is the grown-up version of Home Alone. One, John McClane starring in the movie Die Hard, which, has always been like the internet meme of, it's not a Christmas movie, it is a Christmas movie, but the creator, the writer did say it is a Christmas movie. It takes place completely on Christmas. That's why Nakatomi Towers is empty. It is a Christmas party. The infamous, talk about scumbag sideline characters, the coworker of It's a Rolex, that guy. Dude. Bubby.
And again, that era, the 80s, yuppie, greed, all that stuff.
Always cocaine.
Yeah. Drugs, the whole, exactly. But then, you've got the hardened cop in John McClane, the iconic role from Bruce Willis, obviously, and who's the exact opposite of that dude, who's just as equal,
right,
dislikable as any of the villains or anything like that. Alan Rickman as the villain is just one of the best villains in any film ever. Man, I wish I would have had that. I had that on my list. You took it from me, sir.
Excellent. Well, we'll put a pin in best villains because I definitely want to reprise that someday.
Oh, absolutely.
But he is definitely on the short list. But yeah, poor Mr. Takagi. You kind of wish that things would be different. It is I referenced it in the songs list. You got Argyle just hanging out in the parking garage, having the best time. Christmas in Hollis. There's at least 3 Christmas songs in the movie. Now I Have a Machine Gun, Ho, 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 the infamous, back and forth. It is definitely a Christmas movie. It may be an action movie that people can enjoy in other seasons as well, but at the root and heart of it, it is a Christmas movie, and it is my number 2 pick.
Well, we'll settle that debate then. That Die Hard is in fact a Christmas movie. We can stop with that debate on the social media. It is. It's your number 2 pick. Okay.
The writer. I mean, once the writer came out and said so, like,
yeah.
I mean, that pretty much.
That's it. It's his creation, right?
Squashed it. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go with my number 3 pick here, and it's one that I have to take. It's almost like I'm trading up to get this pick, because if I don't, you might take it in a sense. At least if I were Ryan Pace, that would be my thought process, that Ryan Leskis is going to take this from me, or maybe you have no intention at all. So, having said that,
so do I get 3 picks in back then, or is that what happens?
No, we're not trading.
Okay.
This is like
you said Ryan Pace. I thought like I can just pick all the rest of my movies after this then.
This is one that I've heard you say is saturated, and I get why, but it's still to me one of the 3 greatest Christmas movies ever made. You get it for 24 hours straight, starting on Christmas Eve. I'm talking about A Christmas Story, sir, with Ralphie. Near and dear to my heart. Love it.
It is. And I remember as a kid, this is definitely kind of a generational thing. You mentioned you're 36, I'm 43. I think you're probably on like the, I don't know, high or low end of where it was like a thing before it became a 24-hour thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in their 20s and stuff, even with the 24-hour thing, they still never really get it or really got into it. But it used to be like an appointment viewing, like the time when they put the, no spoilers in case you're going to take them. But, when the claymation ones came on, that was appointment viewing.
Yes.
When A Christmas Story came on, that was appointment viewing. There was no DVR. There was not all that. So yes, you grew up with it and you felt it because you were similar ages and it was the wonder of Christmas, but it was timeless. And you're right. I did comment before, and that's why it's not on my list, is I'm burnt on it, man. I still have the fond memories as a child, and it'll always have a place in my heart. And while I'm finishing wrapping whatever the hell else we need to wrap on Christmas Eve, I'll throw it on for about 20 minutes and hope I catch, like the Black Bart scene or something funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, the character, the old man, that was just so my dad too, which is another thing related to the character so much. The overworked mom, I related to that a lot when it came to my mom, but I'll say Bumpus' sons of bitches until I'm in the dirt. I just think that's one of the greatest lines out of any movie ever, is the old man being so frustrated with the dogs next door. Love it. Love that movie so much. And to your point, like the appointment viewing thing, maybe I'm not going to sit down and watch it from start to finish, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I'm going to get enough of it in there because it is on 24 hours. So at the very least, I am going to watch some of it with my family, and I probably always will. So
it's another one of those just pure at heart, like, the way he's tucking in the advertisement for the Red Ryder in her Look magazine, and like he's not really saying it, but he said they know, but he doesn't know they know. And he's so nervous that he won't get the one thing that he wants. And then, and then it's just basically a lot of the just childhood throughout all that. I mean, the overriding theme is I got to get the Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah.
But like, there's bullying, school scenes, pranks, like there's a lot of like fun, like just kid vibes in it. And I joke with my wife all the time because of like my mom's never sat down to a hot meal in her entire life. Like between the 3 of us, like we have 2 boys and then me. It's always like, oh man, while you're there, can you grab the ketchup, or wait, hold on, can I get a little more gravy? And like she keeps getting up and down. I try to balance it. I'm not trying to say I'm a chauvinist here. I do my cooking, I do my meal prep as well, but a lot of times she goes the extra mile. So it's always like, just sit down, man. You're never gonna have a hot meal in your life. Like it's very like a reference point there. So yeah, there's some true to home things, but yeah. Fudge. I mean, there's some the leg lamp. Who ever made all the money off all those leg lamps that came out like within the last decade? I mean,
Oh my God. We got one for my dad a few years ago for Christmas, and it is up in their house year round. My dad will, it's not just that, I swear to God, Ryan, we got that for them Christmas 2015, 2016, my sisters and I did. And he got it and he put it up in the living room, and it has stayed there for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's never going down. He just, it's literally next to him. He turns it on. He reads a book or the paper or something like that with the leg lamp next to him. So
you used all the glue on purpose.
not a finger. Not a finger.
Not a finger.
The real crusher. The old man tried to come up with a real crusher, but all he got out was not a finger.
All right, man. Okay. Now
Your
we're
pick.
getting down. Now we're getting down the nitty gritty. I feel like those are a lot of hard hitters coming off at once.
Yeah.
Mm.
Feel pretty good about my 3 picks here to start.
Yeah. You're coming on strong here. Home Alone, Vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, A Christmas Story.
I mean, I think that's Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman I got right there so far. So.
Oh man, Horace Grant, my friend. I mean, come on.
Well, I got Ho coming up. I got Horace Grant coming up in just a minute.
Yeah, I'm waiting for your Ron Harper. Okay, so
Ron Harper.
a lot of these are personal picks, but I'm gonna go with Bad Santa as my number 3 pick. That's my jam.
I know it is.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. Thurman Merman's one of the greatest characters from any Christmas movie that I can think of. With the sandwiches, with the pink elephant, like everything about him is just what are you fucking with me, kid? Like, I mean, is Granny spry? Like the whole dynamic between him and this horrible human being that has made his way in his life, but is slowly giving him a little bit of heart. I mean, but yes, there's a lot of obviously overt disgusting gags and things that I'm not above, so that makes me laugh.
Sure.
And I will always reference two of the greatest like comedic actors that are no longer with us, and John Ritter and Bernie Mac turn in masterful performances. The pedicure scene, the shoplifting scene, the way Ritter is explaining what happened in the dressing room to Bernie Mac.
That's my scene. Like, that's the scene where Mac is just sitting there with his feet up on the desk, you know, just kind of nodding, listening intently. And Ritter just keeps.
He's trying to get through it the most like delicate way possible of what he just witnessed, and it's gold, man. So I mean, there's a lot of great players in it. I mean, Lauren Graham turns in a pretty good performance as well as she can. Not to hate all the Lauren Graham haters, you know. I love Gilmore Girls. We're all cool. But yeah, it's great, man. And it just kind of was in that pocket of like really raunchy early odd comedies. You know, if you talk about like The Run, the whole frat pack, you know, old school, Wedding Crashers, 40-Year-Old Virgin, a lot of Tao joints, like everything was trying to one up each other. And this was just kind of the Christmas version of it. Yeah. But it still resonates with me and I love it. So it's my
excellent choice. I like it. I know there might be some people watching like, when are you going to get to like a really old classic, like, one of the originals? And I'm kind of going there, but not exactly. So here's where I'm going with this. I'm going with my favorite version of A Christmas Carol. Now, I love all the versions of A Christmas Carol. It might be, as far as the story, my favorite Christmas story, period, is A Christmas Carol. But I'm going with my version, Bill Murray, Scrooged. That is my 4th pick right there, sir.
Now, see, when you say classics, you're going to offend some of the upper end of my demo here that are probably thinking you're going from like the 40s or 50s. Or Scrooge was in the 80s, man. But
that's my point. Is I'm going with my favorite version of A Christmas Carol.
Okay. I thought you were suggesting that Scrooge is like a vintage classic, man.
No, I'm saying I was trying to choose what version of A Christmas Carol I was going to take, and I can't pass on Bill Murray with one of my draft picks.
No. You should never pass on Bill Murray.
Yeah. Again, we all know the story. He gets visited by the three ghosts, Christmas, past, present, and future. And that ending, I love. You can tell that there's some of that's just Bill either writing or ad-libbing and doing what he does best on camera. And that the ending, the way that he kind of made it his own in the film, love it. Love everything about Scrooge. And you know what? It's amazing. I have so many friends when I mention that it's like they've either never seen it or they've only seen a little bit of it, which is beyond me how they haven't seen Scrooge. So Scrooge, that is my number 4 pick. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Bill Murray at his best, like at the height of Bill Murray, where he could do any movie he wanted to, and it's gold. So, and is that my Horace Grant then? Is that what I've got there with Bill Murray, a Chicago legend? And is that what he is there, or is
I think that qualifies. Any Bill Murray feature is Horace Grant level or above. I'll even include like the man who knew too little in there, man. Like, I mean, he's just lights up a screen.
yeah,
Yes, Minnow. Yeah, it is a great interpretation of the story. My only, because like the original one, I watched the original one. That's literally scares the shit out of me. That's
with Alistair? Yeah, that is yeah,
that
different level.
is a scary movie, man.
It's the atmosphere of the original is still it's like to me when we talk about great horror movies, you can put on the original Night of the Living Dead from 1968, turn the lights off, and that will feel real to you. Like they're coming to
Yeah.
get you, Barbara, and they're outside. Same thing for me with the original Christmas Carol. Like you turn off the lights, you watch that Christmas Eve, and that can rattle you a little bit, man. There's some darkness to it, obviously. It's
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the original. And some people will fight you that the Muppet Christmas Carol is their favorite Christmas Carol.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, as far as pure comedy, yeah, I love the thing with me is I love like the beginning and I love the very end scene, but true to a Christmas story or not story, Christmas Carol story is what I meant to say.
Yep.
You got to get the whole future element in there, and that always just brings me down, man. Even though he's learning from it, it's all part of the story. It's very meaningful. It's very well done, but like man, the homeless guy, like in like all these other things going on, like it's tough. It's tough because it's well done. So I'm not taking away from the quality of it. It is well done, but that part of just like a Christmas movie, it just brings me down, even though, he learns from it, he overcomes it. It is a happy ending. But yeah, the beginning, the towel and VHS Christmas list readings, one of the funniest things I've ever seen at the time. The way he dispatches Bobcat Goldthwait from the building and times it is just like, oh man. But then yeah, to the end with the workers and like, he told me to put staples on there, man. Like, and there's so many great lines in there, and it all comes together perfect the way that Bill Murray can. But yeah, the actual story of Christmas Carol, I think, just haunts me a little bit. So that's why it didn't make my top 6. But it's a fantastic movie. We saw it in the theater, man. It was a family. Yeah.
Well, I think it came out, if I'm not mistaken, the same weekend. Was it one of the Batman movies that came out around Christmas?
Probably Returns.
It's Batman Returns, I think.
That's technically a Christmas movie too.
Technically it is, yeah, but it's not on my. It doesn't matter. I was just going to say I had the chance to see Scrooged in the theater, but I think we went to see Batman Returns because another Bill Murray. This is a little side nugget here. It was Ghostbusters 2 came out the same weekend as Michael Keaton in Batman with Jack Nicholson. And I tried to get my parents to take me to see Batman, and they would not do it. We went and see Ghostbusters 2 instead, which was still fine. I enjoyed that movie as well.
Not a bad one.
Yeah.
Vigo. His name is Vigo.
Vigo.
I almost put throwback to an old episode. I almost put the Ghostbusters 2 anthem in there by Bobby Brown. Is one of my songs that are so bad that I like them anyway.
Yeah.
It just had no reason to be in there. He made a great cameo in there too. Can I get a proton pack from my kid?
For my kid, brother? Those proton packs are not a toy.
Well, they aren't. All right, man.
And I took up a lot of time there. I'm sorry, but I don't want to.
No, man, you came strong, dude.
Yeah, Yeah, I did.
So my next one is kind of a play on that theme. The Family Man with Nicolas Cage is just a glimmer,
Okay.
not a full. It's like part. I don't want to spoil if you're gonna choose it, but it's part. It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
but not really because you're not seeing your life without you. You're seeing your life what it could have been. Kind of a sliding doors scenario, if you remember that great movie. Of if you'd have taken a different path, if you wouldn't have became this vapid, like playboy, monetary absorbed human being, and you married your sweetheart, what life would be. And yeah, it's just a beautiful movie. A lot of people shit on Cage. I'm pro Cage. I'll always be pro Cage.
Pro Cage.
I'm pro Cage, dude. I will fight. He has more quality films than many actors. Sure, he ties his name to a lot of crappy projects, but so does Sam Elliott. No one shits on him. I mean, come on, dude. Like, all right.
Wait, what's Sam Elliott done that's bad?
Huh?
What's Sam
Not
Elliott?
Sam Elliott, Sam L. Jackson.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson. Well, that's true.
Sam L. It did sound like Sam Elliott, but Sam L. Jackson. He'll sign up for some pieces, man. Make that money. He's got to buy
Oh,
enough.
he'll be in anything. I've said this before. Sam Jackson doesn't turn down anything. He'll say if you're going to pay him, he'll do it.
Right.
Pretty much.
So yeah, if you drive angry or whatever, it won't erase Raising Arizona to me, man. It just won't. And The Family Man was one of those movies. You know, he's learning. He's freaked out. Obviously, it's the progression. Tia Leone does a great job as his wife in there. And as he's learning, as he's still trying to do something better, he's learning that this is like the amazing wife. She's everything. Like, I'm the envy of our neighbors. You know, I'm not a huge Piven fan, but he does a great performance in here. He's like, dude, everybody wants what you have. Why are you pissed off? Like, and then the precocious daughter doesn't recognize him, skeptical of him, finds him. He's feeling his peace. And then I'm not going to say spoiler alert because it's been so long, but at the end, you know, like they're having the little meeting in you think maybe it could go there, but it's a beautiful movie and it is a Christmas movie and I love it. So The Family Man with one Nicolas Cage, Nicolas Coppola, if you're watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That is true. He does have a cameo. Well, I can't even call it a cameo because it was one of his first roles ever in Fast.
Yeah, no, I think that's what he went by before he switched it up because he didn't want to be like, you know, you're only getting through on the Coppola name, you know, Coppola.
Yeah.
Coppola.
Whatever. He didn't want to be, you know, he didn't want to be typecast either. So that's never happened to Nicolas Cage. You know, he's never been typecast as a crazy guy or anything like that in his movies. So,
hey, man.
All right.
I'll do a whole episode just on Nicolas Cage, man. I swear I will.
I know you will. You know what? I'll participate, and we'll talk about the underrated Nicolas Cage movies because there are some good ones out there.
Oh, dude, Weatherman, great movie, dude. Great movie.
Yeah, you're going to try to distract me from my pick here. I'm not going to let you do it.
I'm trying to.
You want me to slip up? Man, the one I want to take here, I can't. I can't because
I know what you want to do because you want to give it some cred and draft it high, but you know I won't take it, so you don't want to do it. I know exactly what movie you're thinking of.
What movie am I thinking of? You say it for me. What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do here with my 5th overall pick. I'm going to keep this other one in my back pocket just in case I can steal it from you in the 6th round. But my 5th pick is another one that's I grew up on. It was one that near and dear to my heart that I watched with my dad a lot as a kid. Came out in 1994. I've introduced it to my kids now, and they absolutely love it. Tim Allen in The Santa Claus. Boom.
Yeah, you didn't recognize my as Tim Allen?
Yeah, I recognized it.
Okay.
I chose to ignore it. Is what I did there.
Well, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm going with The Santa Claus here. And we talked about this in the last episode. The one we won't speak of. That one we're going to toss it out.
It's gone.
But it's gone. This came out at the height of like Tim Allen kind of like Bill Murray with Scrooge. This was at the height of Tim Allen as Tim Allen, like the king of stand-up comedy. And Home Improvement was the #1 show on TV, and then he gets the deal with Disney, and like just perfect timing for this movie. And it's really funny and it's heartwarming, and it's got a lot of humor in there that adults can appreciate. And of course, it's geared at kids, and I don't know. I can't say enough good things about the Santa Claus. I think it's a great holiday film. My 5th overall pick. Everything from the beginning, because he's again sort of it's a little bit of that It's a Wonderful Life vibe to it. There's a little bit of that in the essence, or of he's a yuppie. He's one of those early '90s yuppies. He only cares about making money or whatever. Little bit of a Christmas Carol to it as well, and the single dad burns the turkey, goes to Denny's. I mean, that whole routine is just beautiful to me. I think it's hilarious and very real all at the same time. So kudos to Tim Allen, no relation to me. The Santa Claus, my 5th overall pick.
I was gonna make that joke about your uncle, man. Like you just all right.
You know what his real last name is?
Mm.
Dick. That's really his last name. Dick is his last name, and he changed it. Yeah, Timothy Dick is his real last name. He changed it because too many people, he said, make jokes. Has nothing to do with his arrest that he had back in the '80s or anything like that.
Hey, you're just throwing smear on your own.
I'm not. Love Santa Claus. Love Tim Allen. No disrespect.
But give me, all I can remember is okay. So he kills Santa Claus, and
he
then
doesn't stop right there. He surprises Santa Claus because Santa's on his roof. Santa then slips and falls.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't die. He disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Santa disappears. It's Christmas magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So there's no murder of Santa.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So Santa slipped and fell down a roof. Okay. All right. But it has been a while since I've seen it. I will admit it's not one of my frequently viewed Christmas. I remember like the whole like shaving the beard comes back. I remember the belly, all that. But give me like, either a really funny scene or a really heartwarming scene to sell me on watching it in the next 5 days. Today is the 20th of December.
Yeah, well, the scene with his son, and a couple of scenes with his son. Like the one that's really powerful to me is when they go to the judge and they have, they're divorced. Charlie, the son, obviously, and he tells the judge the truth that his dad is Santa Claus and they went to the North Pole together. And the judge comes out and there's poor Tim Allen. He gets there late to the court hearing. And the judge says he hates to do this, but in light of the holiday season, but what's best for the child is that he doesn't have any visitation rights anymore. So he takes Tim Allen's visitation rights away from his son. And then you just cut to the scene of him walking sad by himself as Santa, not thinking about anything other than his kid. So I think that's a pretty it's a sad scene, but it'll pull at your heartstrings, sir, if you watched, I think.
Well, I drafted bad Santa. You drafted sad Santa. Okay. All right, man. On to the next one. I'm tempted to snake what I think is going to be your last pick. I think you got a surprised fastball back there.
I know what you're
I took one action star. You might take another one. I don't know. Maybe you thought it might still be available.
Oh.
So, like, do I play the game and play spoiler? Because it is one of my favorites. The Neighbor is one of my favorite comedic actors of all time.
Oh, good. I watched it last night.
Turns in a masterful performance as a smarmy. But in the spirit of Christmas and the fact that this is our first draft and the fact that I still have 2 movies that I love so much that need to be appropriately taken care of, for my 5th pick, I am taking 4 Christmases.
Sure
the Vince Vaughn joint, my friend. It's a fantastic movie. I don't know why it gets slept on. And so I'm bringing this to the forefront now. It's hilarious. It is Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn, 2 of the powerhouses of Hollywood. They are trying to skate out for Christmas and they accidentally get caught up and realize that they're going to have to stay home. So now they're going to have to go to 4 different Christmases between their parents and their new parents' living situations, et cetera, et cetera. I did something different or something similar one of my first years of marriage where I did 4 Thanksgivings. I went to
Ooh,
my brother's house. I went to my in-laws. I went to my father's house, and I went to my brother-in-law's house at the time. We did 4 of them, man, and I ate at every single one of them.
ooh.
It was not a wise choice. I haven't, like, you could have bounced quarters off my stomach to the moon, dude. I was so full. And the last one was at my in-laws house, and she made the sweet potatoes with marshmallows, which I hate
But
them,
I hate them too. I'm not a fan. I'm with you.
hate them.
Mhm.
But as the recently christened son-in-law, man, I went back for seconds on them. Thumbs up, smiles ear to ear, just miserable. I already have eaten. I ate huge at every other stop along the way. I didn't plan this well. I digress. Back to the movie. So, you're getting the different dynamics of all these Christmases they have to go to. So, you've got his mom who's dating like one of his friends, and that's hilarious. You have his dad and his brothers, which are bonkers, and they're trying to install the satellite system and they're fighting and wrestling, and he's like grown out of all this, but they're still back at home in like a town that might not be far from here if you could picture it. And they're like, oh, you think you're too good for us now, and they got that like old school, I don't need a satellite dish. I got my 3 channels and the different dynamics. The movie like basically changes every 15 to 20 minutes into a whole new like atmosphere. And it's also about the relationship and everything through it. But I think it's hilarious. I'm a Vince Vaughn supporter. If you think I support Bill Murray, I go even higher for Vince, my friend. So I have to have him on this list. It is a hilarious movie. I think it's criminally underrated, and I put it on my list to pick number 5. And I let you go ahead and get your bells for number 6.
Well,
Because I'm a good friend. Merry Christmas.
You are a good friend, but real fast, just the people that were in that film, what they think of it. We'll start with Tim McGraw, who plays one of the brothers. He's one of Vince Vaughn's MMA cage fighting brothers.
Yeah.
And he was asked about it a couple weeks ago, about what is his favorite Christmas movie. And he talked about some of those. And they asked him, well, you were in one. You were in 4 Christmases. What do you think of it? And he says, I've never seen it. And the person doing the interview didn't believe him. What do you mean? How have you never seen it? You started it. He goes, they showed me the trailer. That was all I needed to see. I've never seen 4 Christmases. That's one. Okay. You go, oh, whatever, Tim McGraw.
Let's address
okay.
all these starred in it. I wouldn't say he starred in it, my friend.
Yeah, he's got a cameo. Fine, whatever.
Okay.
All right. Well,
made a song called Indian Outlaws, so we'll just forget about his taste in for a minute. All right, go on.
Well, then let's talk about one of the leads in it, the female lead in Reese Witherspoon, who said it was the worst experience she's ever had making a movie. That Vince Vaughn did not stick to the script. He ad-libbed in every scene. It drove her nuts. She couldn't stay prepared for it. She would never make another movie with him ever again. That's a quote. She would never work with Vince Vaughn ever again. And here we are 11 years later. You know what? She hasn't worked with Vince Vaughn since.
I don't think that's completely up to Vince Vaughn. I think her star rose a little bit further. That said, that's not a testament to the movie. That's her experience filming the movie. You got to let Vince Vaughn cook, man. I mean, that's what got him there. The man is a comedic genius. So yeah, if he's going to ad-lib a little bit, riff with him, baby, come back and forth. Let's get this done. Let's make magic there. She still shines. The movie's great.
Sound like Vince Vaughn right now.
She's great in it. The movie's still great. She just said her experience on set. There's been countless movies that have had stories of like, oh, they never got along. De Niro and Pacino. Let's go back to Heat. Et cetera, et cetera. They didn't even want to technically be on screen together. And the movies still shine, man. They're professionals. Well, the movie's still great, even if the experience wasn't enjoyable by her.
De Niro and Pacino, a little bit. And here's Vince Vaughn somewhere.
The first example I could come up with. There's been lots of stories of like, oh, this actor was very difficult, but you wouldn't know it from seeing it.
All right. All right. Well, if you want to waste a draft pick on Four Christmases, that's your choice.
It's the heat of Christmas movies. I've made the connection. It's done.
The heat of Christmas movies. You know what? I've got the heat of Christmas movie here, and I could take it from you, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it for you to take with your last pick. Since you were so generous to me, I'm going to be generous to you. But I am taking a Christmas movie with an action star, with the action star. I watched it last night, as a matter of fact. Introduced it to my kids. They loved it. I'm talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way, my friend.
It's glorious, man.
Home run. Home run.
So good.
Yes.
It's so good. But people hate on it, man. They do.
I don't know why.
I don't get it.
And that's just it. Like that's one that got crapped on when it first came out. But again, like with my parents, with my dad, he and I loved it right away when I was a kid. I think it's aged fine as a Christmas movie. It's one that if people get introduced to it, they like it. Like you can sit down with the family. The sequel with Larry the Cable Guy, yeah, no thanks. No. But we don't even talk about that one. No. But Phil Hartman as Ted. Oh, what a great just Ted's got just the tool for the job.
I love Ted, man. I love Phil Hartman. I mean, I just love him, from Caveman Lawyer to The Continental to everything he's ever done. Like his Marmy Neighbor performance is golden. And yeah, I think it's aged because people didn't appreciate how crazy it is. I mean, you picture like the weird Turbo Man ending or like the Santa fight, which is still funny to me. I'm sorry, I'm not above it.
Love it. Oh, I love that with Belushi and the Big Show in there. And yes, love the
Santa above it. I'm not above it. There needs to be a lot of slapstick and a good like Christmas.
Every time I hear Belushi yell "dog pile," I laugh. I don't care how many times I've seen it. When Belushi's eyes get big, goes "dog pile," I laugh every time. Love it.
I mean, these guys are breaking like laws. Like, I mean, the whole radio station scene should, I mean, like ring to you like, oh my.
Love it. And if you've ever worked in radio, you've had that crazy listener who has won something and they get mad because it's not exactly what they think, or it's not like they're not quite paying attention to what they've won. Yes. So that always have a place in my heart. And just like, again, when that came out, was that 97, 98, like at the height of Tickle Me Elmo and parents like fighting over these stupid dolls to get them for their kids. That's really what it was. It was a parody of what was going on in society in the 90s. And I think a lot of parents can relate to that. And it's just gotten worse over the years on Black Friday, when you see people trampling themselves, like this scene where they're fighting over the lotto balls. He got two, get the mailman, he got two,
Right.
Great.
Or like that shady backlot like thing that some days you get
yes.
Or some days you get Chucky. Who knows? I mean, that was a birthday.
Assembly required.
Not eligible for a Christmas movie, but yes.
No, yeah. Well, that is my sixth and final pick. It's one that's personal for me. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way. Watch it if you haven't seen it. You'll love it.
I will say anybody watching this right now should. I mean, like I said, it didn't deliver right off the gate, man. And a lot of people were expecting something they didn't get, or they thought it was one way that it wasn't. Anybody now, like seriously, give it another spin. And if you don't like it, I'm shocked, and I will make notes on your permanent mental card.
And one more little, just like, again, some of those little nuggets that are in there. If you're a Schwarzenegger fan, you know the movie Conan the Barbarian, where he punches the camel. Like he's drunk in the movie, and the camel's like hissing at him, and he's drunk, and he rears back, goes, ah, and he punches the camel in Conan, which is one of the funniest scenes in any Schwarzenegger movie. And they parody that in Jingle All the Way. Won't spoil it, but you can probably figure out on your own that Arnold punches another animal. It's a Christmas animal. Guess what it is?
No coming into it. No animal's safe.
Yeah, that's and the animals are fine. And by the end of it, Arnold and the animal are buddies. So, but that's my sixth and final pick right there, man. Jingle All the Way. Boom.
Plus, I mean, the comedic Arnold was something that Hollywood was trying to harness for so long,
Yes.
between either Kindergarten Cop or, a lot of things. And it was really difficult to do. But like the amount of physicality in this one,
Oh,
harness like his action star abilities, and he's not exactly like the master. He's not timing great lines. Like that's what Sinbad's there for. It's like the yin to the yang. They play off each
bingo.
other. But then at the
Yeah.
end, when he's becoming unhinged and his physical comedy's coming out, you finally
Yeah.
realize that they unlocked it.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be a combo of him just like a madman in a comedic role, but also still getting out a couple lines every now and then. But yeah, man, they I think the finale of that is amazing.
So good.
I love the end of it because it's like coming unhinged. All right, man, I'm between two, kind of until here. Both of them I feel have merit. Mm. One is a little less question or more questionable of a Christmas movie, even though it does have a Christmas theme. I am going to select the Friday After Next, though, and I think you saw this coming. And I see you. Did you watch it yet?
No, no. I left Trading Places for you to take with your final pick. My hope was that you were going to forget about Friday After Next and go with
No,
Trading Places, but you didn't. So,
no, because I was inspired by your. I watch Trading Places maybe once a month, man, and the actual
yeah,
Christmas element in it is minor.
yeah.
Whereas in Friday After Next, there is a rogue Santa going around robbing houses. So I
Yeah.
mean,
All
it
right. All right.
is the overlying theme throughout it. It's all in the Christmas season. It culminates at a Christmas party. It's got oh man, oh
Isn't Cat Williams in this one?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person, but very hilarious in it. The one I was trying to remember, and I feel horrible because I just heard of the news of Zeus Tiny Lister, so it's not him. Terry Crews
Oh, Terry Crews.
turns into great. They're both like kind of big guys, man, famous for being kind of big guys, but still both funny in their own right. So Terry Crews is in it. Mike Epps is just on fire in here. I mean, he kind of made his bones in the second. This is the third of the Friday trilogy. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the first one. Second one dips a little bit because they're introducing new characters, new setting, new things like that. People thought Chris Tucker wasn't in it. It wasn't going to be as funny. Second one still extremely funny. And then it skyrocketed back up. It had the dip, Sometimes the second one shines. There's no real trilogy rules. We can get into that, but this
Sure.
is one of my favorite trilogies of all time, to be honest.
Well,
But yeah, with them becoming security guards at a mall around the Christmas season, the banter between them both, the mechanics of their home life and their parents with the barbecue so good you smack your mama. It's everything about it is just hilarious, and it makes my heart warm, and I can't leave it off this list as much as I want to. Trading Places might be my more favorite movie. I put it, if you guys follow me on Facebook, I did an 80s comedies list.
yeah.
It's on my top 80s comedies of all time, but it's more of the Christmas spirit I'm putting into Friday After Next, and that's why I'm making it my number 6 pick, man.
All right.
And the fact that you haven't seen it yet still gave that reaction. I am appalled, sir.
All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I mean it. I mean this tonight. As we record this, kiddos will get their baths, do the pajamas, do the bedtime routine. I'll put them to bed. I'm going to get on the Fire Stick. I'm going to look up the Friday After Next. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go, hey, Alexa, Christmas movies. And I'm going to see if it pops up there. That'll be the true telling. No, I'm kidding. I'll just look it up and I'll watch it and judge for myself. You're right. I shouldn't judge the film without having seen it. I just didn't really like the second Friday movie. I was like, come on. Because I love the original. I love the original.
Right.
So I'll give the third one a shot. I will.
This one gets more back to the true like hangout, like the whole deal. They're security guards at the mall, and it's a lot more script based, like the banter back and forth between Cube and Epps, and like the characters coming in and out. Like the first one, it was like the porch, like the guard tower at this mall is basically their porch. So it's like the things happening around them. It's not them in the suburbs and Debo coming and all that. Oh man, we came full circle. Debo. All right. Yeah. So there it is, man. The top 6, dude. Yeah, and I will go ahead. I honestly haven't seen the Santa Claus since probably when it came out. So
So you're gonna watch it tonight.
I'll give that one a spin too, because honestly, my memory of it is not high.
All right.
The reason why
Maybe we can do a follow-up episode, before Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
because Christmas Eve is on Thursday as we record this.
right.
So
It's like the gift of the no, it's not the gift of the Magi. I'm trying to think of like, breaking bread, coming together, recognizing our differences, but
Yes.
one way or another.
Yes.
All right, man. I think the remix was a smashing success. I think your internet, you look glorious, my man. I'm glad you're on the mend. You had kind of a whole club thing going last time.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you got any of those painkillers left, hit up your boy. I'm just messing
I
with
mean, it is the holiday season, Ryan. So
you, right? Jingle bells, my friend.
yes.